Hello, beautiful humans. Marlo here. I received a flood of emails from subscribers asking about the black cloaked figure vision I had back in 2019. After searching for literally years, guys, to no avail, my guides actually led me to every single video last night. So for your convenience, I took the liberty of editing them together. I hope this helps you guys better understand the current energy that we're in right now. If you have any questions or want to chat about this or any of the soul sessions for March, meet me at the debrief live stream this Friday on YouTube. Now, with no further ado, my friend, here is the infamous Black Cloak channeled message. This Queen of Pentacles person, her husband was someone very important, right? That is like a mover and a shaker. So I don't know, because I felt like it was a person who's like a politician, or the dude has a ton of money or something. But it's like this couple is like, they got rank, they got pull, you know? But it's like this person knew something wasn't right about the other person. They come off as like this really sweet, kind, charismatic person, and they somehow, but it's more or less whatever it is that they did. And the example that I was giving was like what this looks like when people do hexes and stuff on people. Like, it can only work for so long before you have to, and that's what it was in the extended last month, before you have to get your comeuppance. So it's like they held stuck for so long, or Crosswatch, or whoever the hell resonate with this. But whatever they did limited this person's progress. But there's been a shift. And it's a divine one, right? So I don't know if it has something to do with the planetary shifts, but it's like what worked up to this point, it's nullified now. And that's where the stuff was coming in with these other people involved. It's almost like it was a whole group of people that were in cahoots against this person, and they were holding this person back intentionally, right? But it's like the person who is the leader of it is intuitively gifted. So it's almost like, if you would think of it like, I'm trying not to make it all juju-ish and stuff, but it's almost like psychic spying on someone and just intentionally trying to inhibit a person's progress. And that shit worked beautifully up until this point. But it's like now it's almost like, because it's easier for me to talk about it in an energetic sense as opposed to, however this resonates, y'all just gonna have to go with it. Because in order for me to get it out, it's easier if I just speak in how I'm seeing it in the spiritual realm. Where when I'm tapping into it, it's like I'm seeing this person on the other side of the river, but they could only see as much as it is that I could see, because spirit wouldn't let me see past a certain point. And that's because this energy was coming through. So when divine timing comes through, that can't be manipulated. But the reason why the person on the other side was trying to see what was going on, I'm there just because I'm nosy, but they was there trying to figure out what was going on, because they're trying to do something where, and this is what creeped me out, where I was like, I'm leaving it alone in the extended last month, is because I don't know what person would ever, or who would even assume that they had the authority to try to stop divine timing. Because that's literally like whoever that is on the other side of the river, right? Like, they knew that the timing was up. So whatever it is they were doing to hold this person back, they know the time is up, and now the wheel has to turn upright. Because it's almost like whoever this person is, they've been stuck in this energy for freaking, I mean, at the absolute least a year. But I mean, this could be years, a decade even. You know what I'm saying? 10 months, 10 years, you know? They've been like at the bottom of the wheel because of this person manipulating stuff around them, or this person in this group of people manipulating stuff around them. But it's like now the wheel has to turn, because it's time for that to happen. So when that happens, it's like you have to pay the piper. And I said all of this before. You have to pay the piper, because you cannot manipulate energies and hold a person back and think you're not going to pay a price for that. You have to. That's just the way that it works. It's not nothing about who's right or who's wrong, but it's like, to me, you have to be realistic when you do stuff like that. And that's where I say, dude, I don't like, in the etheric sense of things, it would be like crossing someone, doing root work on someone. So intentionally disturbing a person's success, right? On the more 3D side of things, it would just be like starting buku rumors about a person, trying to ruin their reputation, trying to ruin their career because you have a personal vendetta against this person, right? But it's like, now, since the person is getting what's rightfully theirs, it's still trying to come back and pull that person back again. And that's where that gets into like hella malicious type of energy. You know what I'm saying? Because now that's an obsession. Because it's one thing to be pissed at someone, to talk shit about them, and that's that. But it's like so much time has passed in between this. And this person is still just as angry as they were day one, to where they're just waiting for the opportunity, because it's like, I can't do shit right now because this is divine timing. But as soon as this person were to get to where they're supposed to be, it's like they're sitting there waiting for the wheel to turn so they could come back in and turn the wheel upside down again. That's some malicious ass shit. Now, I'm saying that in an energetic sense, but like I said, in 3D, this is like getting a person fired from their job. They get another job, and as soon as they start at that job, going to that job to get that person fired again. That's what it would look like in 3D. You know what I'm saying? To keep the person in prison. But like I said last month, there's a lady that, and I think the lady may be intuitive, because I said this before. It's a Queen of Pentacles person. She's an older lady whose husband is that dude on the block. Like, he got pulled. He knows people. You know what I'm saying? To where whatever was done here, he has the connections and the power to reverse it. So it's like this Queen of Pentacles person is on to what's happening here. She's telling her husband, and I'm assuming that this may be what it is I saw that was going to transpire a month ago. It's like, this is everything being set right. Whether they're a sex worker, prostitute, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I don't care what it is. This is getting exposed. So whatever it is that happened, whether it was, I don't know, magic candles, you know what I'm saying? Lies, slander, theft, whatever the hell it was, it's being exposed. The person who did it is being exposed by this husband and wife. And everything is going to be rebalanced. Anything stolen from them, anything said about them that wasn't true, whatever the case may be, they're being released from bondage. And there's absolutely nothing that this other person can do about it. They cannot, like the person who had a hand in stagnating this, it's nothing that you can do about it. But that makes me feel uneasy in the sense of what type of person does stuff like this. Like a person who's that malicious, you feel what I'm saying? A person who's that malicious and that vindictive, to where, God forbid, if it's been 10 years, that a person is still as angry as they were 10 years ago. It's like that person seriously has a problem. Because like what I'm feeling, this is heavy, dog. Like whatever it is that this person did, it was some like, and I'm not talking about what the person perceives. That's literally what it is. This person is pissed off like this over something that I feel is a perceived slight. You know what I'm saying? So this is a person that has issues and problems of their own. And it's like they feel attacked by this person. So they've done whatever to literally stop this person from moving forward. And you gotta pay for that. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because I really don't play with stuff like that. I just got to be 100% honest. You got to pay for it. You have to. You got to pay the piper. Everybody does, man. That's the laws of karma. That's the law of the wheel. There's no way to sidestep it. And I said this on Instagram. I said, people over here robbing Peter to pay Paul, but Peter is out of town, goddamn. He done got out of Dodge. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like you have to face the music for what it is that you did. And the person who got screwed over in this process is like, your victory is coming and everything's changing for you for the better. But, you know, too bad, so sad. That's why you don't be messing with people, Will. I don't understand people, no. It don't get that serious, dog. It really doesn't. It does not get that damn serious. It really doesn't. Like, I don't even understand how you get that mad at a person. Like, I don't even know how you can house that amount of anger or resentment inside of your body. Like, how do you walk around with that inside of you? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, what this feels like to me is like hatred for a person. And how could you hate someone that much? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? That's crazy. Like, that's toxic ass energy. Like, don't get me started, y'all. They got some miserable ass people in this world. Let me tell you that. Like, stay miserable by your damn self. Leave everybody else alone. You or someone you know has been considering therapy. Get started today with BetterHelp. The word that came to me was like Manchurian candidate, right? Not saying that's literally what it is, but that's the vibe I felt. It's almost like a person who's a patsy. It's like a person that is like a puppet in a bigger thing. But this person is just like a representative or the fall guy for this bigger thing that's going on behind it. The person, because it's like spirit wouldn't show me. And the thing that I realized is that the person who was really in charge of all of this, it's like this person is like highly spiritually gifted. But it's like, and it's almost, and this is going to sound so crazy, y'all. But it's like the person who's behind all of this is very spiritually gifted, but it's almost as if they use their spiritual gifts for the dark side. And this is going to sound so insane. Trust me, I was totally freaked out doing this. But it's like they use their gifts for like the dark side. So if you would think about like a person who has spiritual gifts, that's like psychic, right? That like works for some organization. And it's like the organization uses this person's spiritual gifts to get information, and that's like not good or something of the sort. It's like that person's gifts were blocked, and their gifts were blocked the same way that my gifts were blocked looking into the situation. So it's like I could only see so much, because it's almost like in the spiritual realm, spirit put up a curtain. So it's like I could only see up to that curtain, but I could see on the other side of like this river that this other person couldn't see anything past that curtain. So what it is that's going on between their curtain and what I'm looking at is like, you know, it's something where you had to wait on divine timing. So there was nothing being done, and everyone was just kind of waiting because you had to wait to see how everything was going to pan out. It's like something with DNA. It's something dealing with DNA. Your vision being cloudy at one point in time, but now it's like you're not disillusioned by what's happening here. But it's like I almost get the vibe like this person was trying to intentionally keep information away from you. But it's like since you see clearly now, it's like you're in your power and justice is being served. It's like dishing out karma on some stuff. So I don't know if it's just you guys enlightenment and stepping into your power as this person's karma, or if y'all actually, dishing it out on a silver platter and things. That's very interesting. The way that they see you presently is the Two of Swords, and that was in the general reading. This may be a fear for them. Yeah. I think this is a fleeting thought that maybe, holy crap, what if they know the truth? Like, what if they see what's going on here? And when you step into your power, because I feel like it's almost like you being like a whistleblower or something. But the way they're looking, and I say that because the way that they're looking at you presently is the Two of Swords. Now, and that's a contrasting perception here, because this is their conscious mind. These are like the first row of cards, in essence, is like fleeting thoughts. So when I hear your name, when I think about you, that first thing that kind of pops up, but I don't necessarily grab hold to. So I think it's a fleeting fear that you would get the truth about this and kind of like make the judgment call on it. But the way that they see you is like, nah, they're blind. It's like, oh, they're oblivious. They have no idea what's going on here. Their subconscious impression is the Sun card. Man. So on a deep level, they know, because that's what y'all had in the general read as well. On a deep level, they know that you know the truth. They're afraid you know the truth, but subconsciously they know, because subconscious is our collective consciousness. So that's like the secret intel we're all interconnected with. So on a very deep level, they know that you're enlightened. They want to believe that you're still blind, but they fear you know the truth. Their feelings towards you is the Eight of Cups in reverse, which is the same card that you guys had in the general. And it's, again, feeling as if you're not going anywhere. I'll say it like this. They hope that you're not going anywhere. They fear that you've learned your lesson dealing with them, or you've learned your lesson about them. And with the Hermit, they're trying to figure out where your head is at, because it's almost like it's a conflicting energy with them. Because, and I say it's conflicting because they know, they don't want to admit that they know, and they're hoping that it's not what they fear. So it's more or less them like stepping back in the cut, trying to get intel. I don't want to say that they're spying, but it's like they're sitting back in the cut, like almost like waiting for someone to do something so they can gauge what's happening, if that makes sense. And this very well can involve Virgos, Leos, Aries, and of course Libra. This is almost like, it's a vibe I'm getting like somebody's trying to control a person's fate or their destiny. And that's like hella dangerous territory. But this is the same stuff that I said to y'all earlier this month. But I was saying that y'all were going to come out victorious, like almost in a sense of you guys being rescued in a sense. And it feels like it's like a waiting game. Like just like this person, because I feel like whoever this person is that's in control, they're intuitive. But it's like I feel like even they can't see. And I'm thinking, what would ever cause that? Well, I could tell you from my perspective, Spirit doesn't show me things when it's not my business. You know what I'm saying? Like when something's really not my business, like I don't need to know that about someone, or Spirit showing it to me and me telling someone would cause more harm than good, or would prevent things from panning out the way that they need to, like for a person's highest good. I can't see. I can only see so much. But it's like me just thinking about this whole reading, that it's like I feel like I'm seeing, but I'm not really seeing. It's like I'm only seeing surface level, but it's not, it's like surface spiritual level. You know what I'm saying? It's like I get to see behind the veil, but then there's like a sheer veil behind the veil, and I'm looking through the sheer veil. So it's like I'm seeing it, but I can sense in me, like in my gut, there's more going on here. But because that block is there, it's letting me know I can't see. Like I'm not allowed to see that. But I feel like whoever this person is that's controlling things, they're at the same vantage point as I am. Like, just like I can't see the whole picture, neither can they. So I don't know if maybe whoever this is, I don't know if the person is like a reader, like they read tarot, or they're a psychic or a medium or something, or they're going to a psychic or a medium or something of the sort. But it's almost like I feel like spirit is like, I feel like you guys are fine. Like I feel like this is working out for you fine. But it's almost as if, I don't know if that's like guides or something. It's like spiritual view is being obstructed on purpose, so this person can show themselves. Because without them having the spiritual intel, they've been maneuvering properly or at an advantage to you for a very long time. Like, you know, having the one-upmanship on you. And they've been able to do that because of being able to see into the spiritual realm. But because their vision is being blocked right now, it's like in this time period, it's giving you an opportunity. And it's reminding me, this is so weird. Like the story in the Bible when Moses set the Israelites free. And like they made it to the Red Sea, and like Pharaoh's coming on the chariot and stuff. And then he puts the staff in the water, and then the water parts. And it's like all of the Israelites were able to walk across the dry ground on the Red Sea. So it's almost like you're being protected to where you're able to get the fuck out of Dodge, right? Like Christ has averted the tower reversed. So it's like you see the light, you see the truth, you're able to make it through. And once you get to the other side, it's like the ocean, you know, closes back up and this person gets their comeuppance, right? So it's almost like this person knows that they're about to get their karma. And I say that specifically, even if this is like, because I don't want to freak anybody out. Like, because I feel like if you felt this and you knew this, because I'm not saying someone's doing black magic, but it sounds so much like it. But I feel like whatever they're doing, it's something I'm not even familiar with, because it's every form of magic has energy signatures. And I know what each energy signature looks like, but this isn't anything I've ever seen before. I've never seen anything like this. Because just like I said, that theme with like the Queen of Pentacles, of how it looks like she's free, but she's really not, because it's someone behind her controlling her. Dude, this is so creepy. Like, I've never seen anything like this in my life. I don't even know what that would be. But the whole thing is, it's almost like a person who's trying to defy the laws of the universe, but you can't, because they are what they are. But it's like with them doing something that held a person down, because everything has shifted, they now have to pay the piper. And it's like they're trying to do something to not pay the piper. And it's like they're in denial, thinking there's still some way around it, but there's not. It's like they literally have to receive their karma. That's just what it is. You know, it's the nature of the game. This Queen of Pentacles person is like a representative, if that makes sense. I know this is going to sound so weird, dude. I don't know what this is. But this person is like a representative for somebody behind the scenes who is calling the shots. They're not calling the shots, someone else is, right? What's going to help you is either a person, or is you just simply listening to your instincts. Because I feel instinctually, you know something is funky here, something isn't right here, and it's a need for you to listen to your instincts. And if something is telling you to get the F out of Dodge, get the F out of Dodge, right? But I really feel like Spirit is protecting you with that, because I don't really feel like you're going to be here for this. Because it's like, it's almost like you're being pulled out of this situation, because it's like, these people are fucked. I don't know who these people are, but they did something that they had absolutely no business doing. And it's like they're trying to not pay the consequences for it, but they have to pay the consequences for it. And what they did is some fuck shit. Like, they really did some really fucked up shit. And I don't know what this is. I don't even want to know. But the whole thing is, the truth is gonna come out about it, about what happened here. And these people are gonna have to pay for it. But it's almost like a person infiltrating your circle or something. It's something that you were involved in, but it's like you're not anymore. And the reason why you're not is because it's almost like everything's getting exposed. But because you unknowingly were a part of it, you're being protected. Because it's like they were doing it to everyone and doing it to you, and Spirit is setting you free from it because you were a part of it and didn't know you were a part of it. The word that came to me was like Manchurian Candidate, right? Not saying that's literally what it is, but that's the vibe I felt. It's almost like a person who's a patsy. It's like a person that is like a puppet in a bigger, like a bigger thing. But this person is just like a representative or the fall guy for this bigger thing that's going on behind it. The person, because it's like Spirit wouldn't show me. And the thing that I realized is that the person who was the person who was really in charge of all of this, it's like this person is like highly spiritually gifted. But it's like, and it's almost, and this is going to sound so crazy, y'all, but it's like the person who's behind all of this is very spiritually gifted, but it's almost as if they use their spiritual gifts for the dark side. And this is going to sound so insane. Trust me, I was totally freaked out doing this. But it's like they use their gifts for like the dark side. So if you would think about like a person who has spiritual gifts, that's like psychic, right? That like works for some organization. And it's like the organization uses this person's spiritual gifts to get information, and that's like not good or something of the sort. It's like that person's gifts were blocked, and their gifts were blocked the same way that my gifts were blocked looking into the situation. So it's like I could only see so much, because it's almost like in the spiritual realm, Spirit put up a curtain. So it's like I could only see up to that curtain, but I could see on the other side of like this river that this other person couldn't see anything past that curtain. So what it is that's going on between their curtain and what I'm looking at is like, you know, it's something where you had to wait on divine timing. So there was nothing being done, and everyone was just kind of waiting because you had to wait to see how everything was going to pan out. It's like something with DNA. It's something dealing with DNA.